All right, let's dive into one of the most exciting and honestly, one of the most controversial topics in AI right now: video generation. We're talking about tools that can take a single line of text and spin it into a full-blown video clip. And believe me, it's changing absolutely everything.
I mean, just think about that for a second. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But what used to be a wild, far off idea is getting closer to reality faster than any of us expected. This isn't just a fun what if anymore. It's the very question at the heart of a creative revolution that's happening as we speak.
You know, for decades, making any kind of video involved cameras, lights, crews, editing suites, a ton of time, and of course, a ton of money. Well, as we're about to see, a whole new wave of AI tools is here to completely flip that script, turning simple words into actual moving visual stories.
And it all starts with something as simple as this. You just type out a description, a vibe, a feeling, and the AI gets to work building a scene that, until very recently, would have needed a whole team of special effects artists and a pretty massive budget to pull off. Honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. You take the incredible image editing power of something like Photoshop, you mix it with the storytelling magic of Pixar, and then you crank the speed up to 1,000. That's the kind of mind-blowing acceleration we're looking at. And this space is already crowded with some major players. You've got Runway, who was really one of the pioneers, focusing on making powerful tools for creators. Then there's Pika Labs, which is all about those fast, stylized clips that are perfect for social media. And then OpenAI dropped Sora, which just stunned everybody with its unbelievable realism and its ability to create much longer videos. Each one's kind of got its own specialty.
Okay, so how on earth is any of this even possible? It really does feel like magic, but of course, there's some seriously fascinating tech at work here. We're going to take a quick peek under the hood, but don't worry, we'll keep it simple. The best analogy is to think of it like a super intelligent flipbook. So first, the AI generates the very first image, the first frame. Then, using everything it's learned about how things are supposed to move, it predicts what the very next frame should look like to create believable motion. It generates that frame, and then it just repeats that process over and over and over again, building a completely seamless video.
Now, the engine that drives all of this is something called a diffusion model. If you've ever played around with an AI image generator like Midjourney or DALL-E, you've already seen this tech in action. It's basically been trained on a truly colossal amount of visual data, which lets it figure out the relationships between words and pictures, and then create something totally new from scratch. But here's the really tricky part for video. The AI can't just spit out a bunch of random, pretty images. It has to understand physics. It has to know how the world works. By analyzing just countless hours of video, it learns how a ball bounces, how water moves, how a person walks. It's basically learning the rules of our physical world so it can replicate them in a way that looks real to us.
So yeah, this is way more than just a cool tech demo. What we're seeing is a fundamental shift that could set off a massive creative explosion. Let's break down why this is such a huge deal.
It really comes down to three huge things. First, it completely lowers the barrier to entry. All of a sudden, an indie filmmaker working out of their bedroom can create visuals that used to cost millions of dollars. Second, for every content creator out there, this could mean no more spending hours hunting for the perfect stock video clip. You just make it yourself, instantly. And third, even the big Hollywood studios are jumping on this for things like cheaper special effects or for previs, which is like creating a rough animated draft of a scene before they ever start rolling cameras.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures just how much this democratizes creativity. Can you imagine the music we'd get if every band on the planet had access to the best recording studio in the world? That's the kind of creative potential we're talking about unlocking here. But it's not all a perfect rosy picture. Not even close. We really need to pump the brakes for a minute and have a serious reality check, because this amazing, powerful technology comes with some really weird glitches and some deeply, deeply complicated ethical problems. And this really gets to the heart of the conflict, doesn't it? On one side, you have this revolutionary tool that could empower a new generation of creators and unlock entirely new art forms. But on the other side, you've got this ethical minefield. Huge, messy questions about copyright, jobs, and where all the training data even came from in the first place. Let's be specific for a second. The tech still has some very weird, sometimes pretty creepy glitches. AI still struggles with hands, and you might get some bizarre stuff like a person with 3 legs.
Plus, most of these models can only create really short clips right now. But the biggest issue of all, the legal time bomb, is copyright. If an AI is trained on thousands of copyrighted movies, who owns the video it creates? That's a huge question that courts are going to be fighting over for years. So, with all of that on the table, the incredible promise and the very serious challenges, where is all of this going? Let's try to get a glimpse of what the future of film might actually look like. Well, the predictions are pretty exciting. Imagine things like truly personalized content, like a custom animated bedtime story starring your own kid, generated in minutes. The continued democratization of it all means literally anyone with an idea can become a filmmaker. But the most likely outcome probably isn't AI replacing human artists. It's more likely to become a powerful co-pilot, an amazing new tool that works alongside human creativity. Now, this is a bold, bold statement. We're not talking 50 years from now or even 20. The prediction is that a fully AI-generated movie could be a box office hit this decade. That really puts a timeline on how fast this is moving and how soon we could see it hit the mainstream in a huge way. And that brings us to our final question. It's one thing to make a lot of money at the box office, but it's something else entirely to be recognized for true artistic achievement. So what do you think? Could an AI-generated film ever actually win an Oscar? It's a fascinating thought to end on. Thanks for joining me for this one.